Hi everyone, and welcome to another live video here at VMware Explore in Barcelona. My name is Jesper Alberts, and with me is Matt. Matt, could you please do a short introduction?
Yeah, no problem. Hi everyone, Matt Evans. I've been with VMware for 7 years now. I work within our EUC business unit as a lead solutions engineer. So that's sort of all of our kind of EUC products, so anything around Workspace 1, Horizon, that kind of area.
All the good stuff.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
the interesting stuff.
Absolutely. So Matt, we're here at CTAB. We've been here at CTAB yesterday, and we're here on the Monday as well. So could you explain to reviewers quickly what is CTAB?
Yeah.
What it's all about?
So as you're probably aware, with VMware, we love an acronym. So CTAB is the Customer Technical Advisory Board. It's where we bring together our customers and partners to, as you say, a 2-day event. We run them in person twice a year. And although we know each other through the UC, what we call pillar, there are other pillars as well. So there's things like HCI, and then we have networking security, those sort of things. So there's really 5 pillars, and this time it's our biggest ever CTAB. So we've got 140 customers here. I think previously our largest was something like around 130. So it's growing with time, sort of growing with popularity, and customers can come and hear under NDA about roadmap and futures, and where we're taking some of the products and solutions.
Congratulations on the milestone.
Thanks.
Good to see that's still growing. So obviously it's not just about roadmap, it's also about feedback, right? Mm-hmm. So how do you think, or how do you feel about feedback being a part of the process?
For me, it's important because it's easy for any company to sit there and go, we think this is what the market wants, we should be doing this is what everyone's interested in. I think somebody joked earlier about AI being in every slide, because I think the whole world thinks that's what everyone wants to hear about, but the feedback's critical, because are we doing the right things? Is our priorities correct? Maybe we're in agreement that these are the 10 things we should be working on, but is it in the same order, or are there things that customers want to do quicker than maybe we've kind of lined out? So that, yeah, those things are important. And also understanding what we've missed. In one of the sessions earlier today, we were talking about vulnerability management, and there was some really sort of key feedback there where the PMs were taking lots of notes, because there's things that we maybe haven't thought about. So yeah, it's critical for us to know what's going on in the field and what customers actually want.
Yeah, I think actually someone was made out a job offer during that session as well. But
No comment.
No comment. No, but it's true. I think it's really important to see the feedback going back and forth on what VMware is working on and what is actually working for customers. But also the conversations or the discussions that get started in the room are very interesting. I think that, to me personally, this is the highlight of VMware Explore. Mm-hmm. These 2 days, they're intense, right? They're action-packed for 2 full days, but I think it just summarizes the entire convention in just 2 days, and I think that's great. So if any of our customers or any of your customers would like to participate in CTAB, outside of EUC obviously, how did that work? How can they join in if they want to?
So it's a nomination process, pretty straightforward. It's nothing ridiculously complicated or anything, but they just need to reach out to their VMware account manager or SC. They should be aware of the nomination process. So then they can just work together and make sure they understand what CTAB is all about, and they're going to do it because they want to get something out of it, and it is going to be beneficial and mutually beneficial, I guess. So yeah, just a pretty straightforward nomination process.
So it's not a secret club?
No, nothing like that.
But it requires commitment, right? Because as a participant, you commit to being or participating for 2 years, twice a year.
Correct.
So it's not a freebie.
No, we have a charter, which is, I guess, really the framework to how we want the interactions to go, and like you say, the number of sessions and those sort of things. And ideally, people stay in it for 2 years. If they don't, they don't. Things change, and maybe priorities change, so those things happen. But ideally, the point is you don't want different people at every single CTAB every 6 months, because you kind of want to keep the conversations going and kind of maintain those relationships. So yeah, ideally, kind of 2 years at least.
Yeah, and I think that brings back the feedback option, right? If you provide feedback 9 months ago or 10 months ago, and you want to review again, how was the feedback process? Is there any progression in that? So I think that makes sense. So before we wrap up, is there anything else you're really looking out for this week?
Quite candidly, Manic Street Preachers on Wednesday night. I've not seen them since 1992, probably showing my age there, but yeah, that was the last time I saw them live. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the closing party for that reason, being honest. Aside from that, it really is kind of the keynotes I'm most interested in. I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of the breakout sessions are really interesting, and when you see customers that have maybe used the product or the solution in a slightly different way or done something quite unique, again, I find those very interesting, but certainly the keynotes from all the BUs really, just to understand what's coming and what's going on, what innovations are really being driven and where company priorities lie and things like that. So yeah, for me, it's more about the keynotes. But as I say, the breakouts and some of the partner sessions and some of the customer sessions are equally as interesting because quite often there's something quite unique in there and, you know, a new use case, which is always really good.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to pick up.
Exactly.
But in your case, it's the managed suite piece.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Matthew. So thank you for watching and see you in the next video.